Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Mary.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Well, we're gonna get started
No.
today because we have a lot to
Oh,
cover here. But I just first want to mention, I don't know if anyone saw that amazing climb by Alex Honnold yesterday when he climbed Taipei 101. That was incredible athletic feat. Was amazing. Okay, so this morning I have on the call, I have Sam Fanshawe, but she will just be managing the chat, and she's also going through she's moving the PowerPoint slides for me. My internet was a bit slow here, and then I also have Carlos Garcia on the call, and he'll be going through the Gobi March and Ultralight course this morning. I'm not sure if Carly Steggles is on the call, but Carly will also be helping me at the Gobi March in Mongolia. Okay, so I first just wanted to start by welcoming everyone to the Gobi March Zoom information session. We're really looking forward to this 20th edition race in June. We have a really interesting field taking part. It is Mongolia is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. So super, super psyched to be going back. Okay, so what we're going to do now with the Zoom, I'm just going to show you a series of photos from the last Gobi March to just show you some of the landscape that you will be going through if that you're taking part in the race. So there, and we're just going to flip through slowly here. One of the river crossings that we have. And then let's see, and that's just one of a sort of small dunes. There's a relatively small section of dunes in the Gobi March and Ultralight, and there's some of the beautiful wide open landscape of Mongolia. And there is our fire that we have in the middle of camp. We have the fire if the weather conditions permit, and we're boiling hot water so that you can either have tea, coffee, or put it or make a freeze-dried meal.
Very good.
Mary, one quick thing. Do you want to just mute everyone? If I do it, I'll mute you as well.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me mute everyone. See here. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay, and that's just some of the landscape uh, in Mongolia. That'll be us along the course, and then some more wide open landscape of the beautiful Mongolian countryside. And then there is one of our checkpoints. You will be very, very happy when you make it to the checkpoint each time. There's some of our wonderful volunteers that we have, and they're all waving and cheering for you. And there's just one of our runners. You can see the bib that he'll be wearing, the water bottles in the front. Just some more landscape photos. And there's a photo of one of our campsites. And then just some more of the course. And just two of our runners. Those were actually local runners from Mongolia last year. And there's just a very moderate climb on some rocks. And there's just a photo of some of the amazing culture that you will see along the course with a lot of the locals. They're expert horsemen and women. And there's part of the course. And there's actually one of the yurt campsites. One of the nights we will actually be sleeping in yurts. And just one of a number of river crossings that you'll be going through along the 6 stages. And there's just there are some tent mates. A lot of the tents, the people in it become friends for life. And there was the start line last year, and one of the forts where many battles were fought during the Genghis Khan era in Mongolia. And there we just have some of the runners going by one of the yurts. And then just again, one of the horsemen, one of the locals just riding through the countryside. And then some more of the beautiful landscape in Mongolia. You can see a small little point in the middle, which is a checkpoint. And then the final river crossings on stage 5. Some more photos on the course. Some more course photos. And then you can see the one of our campsites. And then that was just a cultural show that we had on the rest day in 2025. And then there are some of our amazing volunteers having fun. And then that was at the finish line in 2025. Okay, we're just going to get started now. I'm not going to go through the table of contents, but if anyone would like this presentation later, I'd be happy to send it to you. So this whole Zoom will focus on both the Gobi March and the UltraLite, but basically both races follow the same courses, and the gear is almost exactly the same. Okay, just quickly about Racing the Planet. Founded in 2002, it's now a 23-year-old organization. The Gobi March in Mongolia will be our 80th stage race. We've staged races in 17 countries since 2003, and we introduced the UltraLite in 2025 at our roving race in Greece. They're 250 kilometers. The Gobi March is 250 kilometers, 155 miles over 7 days, 6 stages. And the UltraLite is the new concept, which is roughly half. The people have the option of doing up to 125 kilometers or 75 miles over the week. All that you need to do is 50 kilometers to actually get a medal for the UltraLite. The other benefit to that is that we will actually carry some of your gear from camp to camp. Okay, the Gobi March is part of the 4 Deserts Ultramarathon series, which are basically four races in the Gobi March in Mongolia, the Namib race in Namibia, the Atacama Crossing in Chile, and the Last Desert in the Antarctic. And as part of all those races, we have a shorter version. So for the Gobi March, Atacama Crossing, and Namib race, it's the UltraLite. And for the Last Desert, it is the Antarctica Ultra Marathon, which is a 1-day ultra marathon in the Antarctic that is run on the same course as our multi-day race that is run down there. All these races are supported by international staff. We have management, medical team, course teams, volunteers, media teams, and then we have our local team. So more than 100 support each. race. And I wanted to mention that if you have any questions during the Zoom, feel free to ask questions, and Sam will answer them for you. And if we can't answer them, we will answer them after the Zoom. Okay. And then what is the Gobi March and the ultralight in Mongolia? Okay, so this will just take you through some very specific details of how to actually get to the country. So, firstly, you have to get to Ulaanbaatar, and you have to be there by Friday, the 19th of June. You can come anytime, but you can't check in to the race hotel until 2 p.m. The official race hotel is the Novotel. However, there is a chance that we may have to use a second hotel also. And so our first actual meeting date will be Saturday, June 20th, and we will be meeting in the lobby of the Novotel, but we'll be sending out further details as we get closer to the race date. Okay, how do you actually get there? Believe it or not, getting to Mongolia is actually not that complicated. You fly to one of the gateway cities, unless you're one of the lucky ones that actually lives in a gateway city, such as myself that lives in Hong Kong. I can fly nonstop there. But otherwise, you fly to either Istanbul, Frankfurt, Seoul, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Beijing, sometimes Bangkok. And there are generally at least one flight from each of these cities daily during June. Seoul has the most flights. There are multiple flights going to Mongolia each day. Recently, from the USA, United Airlines has started flying, and they actually go via Tokyo. But I've done some research into that, and the flight cost is actually not that reasonable for that flight. Most actually fly on the national airline of Mongolia, which is Miat, and I've found it to be a very reasonable airline, and it has a good safety record. So, and then in terms of booking tickets, sometimes it is cheaper if you book two tickets, one to the gateway city, and then the other ticket from the gateway city to Ulaanbaatar. Okay, visas to Mongolia. So fortunately, Mongolia recently has had a program where they've made it basically visa free for most people in the European Union, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and they recently extended that through 2026. But definitely check to make sure that you don't need a visa. U.S. and Canada we're all already visa free. Best way, so when you fly into the airport is to take a transfer either from our local agent, taxi, or the hotel. You can book a ticket. You can book a car through the hotel. The nice thing about using our local agent is if you have any issues with your flight is late, you can actually send them a WhatsApp message, and they will help you. So they've actually worked out really, really well in the past. Okay, and then one recommendation is definitely try to carry your key items with you in hand baggage. You can probably get quite a bit in your hand baggage, such as your running shoes, your backpack, maybe some of the food that you can't find locally, and possibly your maybe even your sleeping bag. Just really key items that if for some reason they got lost, that you wouldn't be able to buy them locally. There aren't actually a lot of good outdoor shops in Mongolia. Okay, and then what else do you need? You need insurance. And we can actually recommend some different insurance that you can get, but basically you need medical and evacuation insurance. And this is something that I would recommend for anyone that travels outside of their home country, but it is mandatory for us. Okay, what is the city of Ulaanbaatar like? Actually, it's a really interesting city. There's a mix of kind of the old Soviet Union buildings. There's actually a lot of Korean influence there. It is very, very vibrant. Definitely, though, known for its terrible traffic. So, if that you are one of the lucky ones to get to have a flight that comes in very early in the morning, you probably won't have traffic, and it'll take you 30 to 40 minutes to get to the hotel. Otherwise, it could take up to two hours with bad if it's during rush hour traffic. It generally has decent supermarkets. You can get some local currency, and most places also accept credit cards. But don't think that you're going to find a lot of really good last minute gear there. Okay, okay, daily. Okay, so. So as I mentioned before, need to meet on the 19th of June. We will have a hotel room saved for you. It is a twin sharing room unless you would like a private room, and then you have to pay a single supplement for that. Saturday morning, you'll have breakfast, and then we'll have a pre-race briefing. Likely downstairs in the lobby, and then we'll have race check-in, and that's where we will check all of your gear. We'll make sure that you have everything that you need for the race, and then in the early afternoon we'll travel to Camp One. Anything that you're not going to use on the race, you can put in you can store at the hotel. We will give you a special luggage tag, and you will leave it and then get it back when we finish the race and are back at the hotel. So Saturday night is the first night that you'll spend in your tents, and then the next day the race will start at 8 a.m. And just wanted to mention that in the Gobi March, unlike some of our other races in the Atacama and Namib deserts, we actually have the Long March on stage 4 and not stage 5. I also wanted to mention that anyone who has friends and family coming who has booked the special experience, that they will actually join us at the camp on Friday, June 26th. They will generally arrive on Thursday night, stay at the Novotel, and then they will meet the guide early in the morning, and then they will be at the campsite on Friday night. Okay, so when you first get to Mongolia, take out all of your gear, all of your food, lay it out on your bed, go through it, make sure that you have everything that you need, just in case that you don't. A lot of times you can borrow from someone else. We will be sending you a link to a WhatsApp group later. And that is where if the airline lost your luggage or you accidentally left something at home, usually people have extras and are willing to share. Okay, more details on Saturday. So after the pre-race briefing around 9, then you'll go through race check-in by tent. And that's where we'll also give you a GPS tracker. You will grab lunch either at the hotel or somewhere close by the hotel, and then board the buses around 2. And it is a 5 hour bus journey to the first campsite. When you get to the first campsite, you will have dinner. So make sure that you bring a dinner for that evening at the campsite. So I would actually not recommend that you have a freeze-dried meal on that night. You can bring a pizza, you can bring anything that you can get locally to have it on that night, because you're going to have the freeze-dried meals during the week. It would be nice to have something else. And then Sunday morning from 5:30 a.m. we'll have hot water, and the race will start at 8. Okay, the format of the Gobi March. Okay, first, you can either take part as individual, you can be part of an official team or a group team, or you can be part of a non-official team. So how does that differ? So as an individual, you are just taking part on your own, and you get the ranking based on when you finish. You don't have to stay with anyone else. During the race, most take part as an individual. However, many and more take part as an official team, group team, or unofficial team. So official team is a minimum of two persons, and you have to stay with that person for the whole race. So you basically have to be in sort of line of sight with that person for the whole race. So you will finish with the exact same finishing time. You will also be ranked as an individual. Okay, and then group team is basically a minimum of three or more, and you don't have to stay with each other over the course, but we take your collective time and then the average, and then the team with the lowest overall average wins. So there too, you are ranked as both a group team, and you are ranked on your own as an individual also. And then some choose to take part as an unofficial team, and this really works well if you're raising money for charity. You can still have a team name, but you don't have to take part. You don't have to run the whole course with someone else, and then you aren't ranked as part of the group team, and there is no number as to. So you could do an unofficial team with as few as two people. Okay, and then the Gobi March format. Okay, so 6 stages over 7 days, 250 kilometers, 155 miles. The course is marked with bright pink flags, and it is our goal so that you can always see a pink flag. So it's always sort of line of sight. Doesn't always happen, but that is our goal. And then at night, the course is actually marked with highly reflective tape, so you can easily see it when you shine your headlamp forward. Okay, checkpoints. There is a checkpoint every 10 kilometers or 6 miles, and at that checkpoint, there is water, there's a doctor, there's volunteers, and there is typically shade. There may be a point from time to time on the Long March where we have 8 checkpoints where there might not be a doctor, but there will be a doctor still overseeing that checkpoint. Normally, there are 5 checkpoints in each stage. So that's checkpoint 1, 2, 3, and then checkpoint 4 is camp. And then when you get to camp, you will see that generally, for the most part, we have a circle of tents. The tents have a tent name on it, and you will sleep in that same tent each night. And the tents will have 6 to 8 people in each tent. Okay, water, you will be given 1.5 liters of water at each checkpoint, and you should generally leave each checkpoint with 1.5 liters of water. At camp, we generally allocate about 4.5 liters of water. The water comes in a large 5-liter bottle, so you all just need to fill your water bottles from that five liter bottle. We will always have hot water in the morning, and then in the afternoon until at night. So really, we don't limit water, although you are not to use water for washing or taking a shower. Water is for drinking. Okay, scoring starts when you start the stage each morning, and it ends when you reach camp. Cutoff times, we do have cutoff times at each checkpoint, but the cutoff times are based on basically going about 4 kilometers an hour, or 2.5 miles per hour. So they are generous cutoff times. Okay, so that is the format of the Gobi March, and really the only difference in the ultralight course, which is on the next slide, is that it is generally about half the distance. So what happens is after the race starts in the morning, we generally drive you to either checkpoint 2 or 3 based on what your goal is that day, and you follow the exact same course. You follow the markers. So it is exactly the same. You sleep in the same campsite, although everyone taking part in the ultralight sleeps in an ultralight tent. And you are offered the same water with the scoring. Your scoring starts either when you leave from checkpoint 2 or checkpoint 3 and ends when you reach camp. Cutoff times would be generally you would get double the time as those taking part in the Gobi March, and then of course a lot of your gear, especially your food and your sleeping bag, sleeping bag, are transported from camp to camp. And in the ultralight format, we only accept 25 to take part in that. So it's just a part of the Gobi March. Okay, daily schedule. Every morning at 7:30, we have a briefing. You'll all have GPS trackers. The GPS trackers will be placed on your backpack with tape so that they're facing the sky. Your friends and family can follow you. They're updated every 10 minutes. We'll make sure your trackers are started in the morning. The race will start at 8. Everyone doing the Gobi March will start at the same time. The ultralights will then, as I said, be taken to checkpoint 2 or 3. There might be times with the ultralight when we have you start with the full race. So that could change. Okay, you'll follow the pink flags, and then when you get to the final checkpoint, you will rest, you will eat, you will take it easy, and you'll do this every day. And the only difference each day, okay, is that on the Long March, which I said was stage 4, is that you will have about double the number of checkpoints there, but you will have the option to possibly take some rest. And halfway through the Long March, we will have hot water set up at one of the checkpoints so that you can also have a meal. So the Long March is generally double the distance of the other stages. And it's the same for the ultralight. You will have the chance to do double the distance what you normally do. So that will be up to three or 4 sections of the Long March. Okay, what is camp like? Okay, you can see it's generally a circle of tents. Tents are shared. There's up to 8 people in each tent. There is an option to bring a single tent if you would like to bring your own single tent. A fraction of people bring their own single tents, but you have to put it up and take it down each day. But we will actually transport it for you. You cannot bring a single tent that's for more than 2 people. And we will show you, generally you can see out by the river those kind of orange tents, white tents. Those were some people who chose to bring a single tent. Really one of the best parts of the race is actually sharing the tent with others. So we would highly recommend sharing, but there are a few that want to bring a single tent. Okay, hot water, as I mentioned, from 5:30 to 7:30 in the morning, and from 2 until 8 at night. There's generally is a campfire if the weather is okay. You are not actually allowed to use any of our charging facilities for charging. So if you're bringing something that you think will run out of battery, you should bring either a solar charger or an extra battery pack. Okay, toilets in Mongolia are a hole in the ground. So they don't really have the porta potties there, and there's no showers at any of our races. We have a medical tent. You can see actually in this photo, the medical tent is the white kind of what we call sort of a tunnel tent. And then we also have a cyber tent, and that's typically open from 2 to 8 per day. And I will go over what you can do in the cyber tent later. Okay, the next photo just shows you another picture of camp. You can see the start finish line. Again, there's a semicircle of tents. There's the medical tent right next to the finish line. Our medical staff are actually sleeping in the tent in the back there, and next to it is the cyber tent. The center of camp is where we have the tables where you can eat. We also have some checkpoints tents set up for shade. The staff and volunteers you can see are way in the back in another set of tents. To the right there, you can see actually the dark kind of tent like those are actually the toilets. Okay, again, so you can see sleeping options. Those are our typical tents. We call them Kodiak tents. They are sealed. They're not fully waterproof, but they're pretty good in rain, but will not keep everything out. They seal, so if it's very windy, the Kodiak tents are great. And then you also have the option of bringing a single tent. You can see the single tent on the right, but you do have to set it up and take it down each day, and we will transport it for you. Okay, and then just going over the cyber tent, media and race coverage. So we have what we call a cyber tent set up at camp, and that's where we have iPads where you can actually read emails sent to you through our website, so not your own personal emails. You can also send emails or write blogs, but you have to buy a cyber tent package, which is 50 US dollars for that. You can also view the results from each day. Everything is offline, but periodically we update it through our Starlink. Okay, race coverage. Your family and friends can follow you closely while that you're doing the race. Our website is probably updated hourly with results, photos, videos, blogs, and the live GPS tracking. Actually, the tracker updates about every 10 minutes. So your friends and family can actually see where that you are on the course. We also send what's called breaking news, and we send updates, up to 5 updates during the day to an email. And we basically give a summary of the race. In terms of the media, so we have an official team. We have someone taking photographs. We have someone doing videos. So there is also an option. So their number one goal is to cover the whole race and to photograph everyone. There is an option to buy some personalized photos, and also there are a few personalized video packages that you can buy. Okay, now I'm going to pass it over to Carlos Garcia, who has set the course in Mongolia for many years now, and he's just going to take you through a stage-by-stage overview of what you can expect. Carlos?
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Carlos.
Let me see if I can share my
Yeah, so
desktop.
while Carlos is sharing his screen, you can just see the details he'll be going over. Okay, Carlos.
All right. So welcome everyone to Mongolia. So I'm very, very excited. This is, I think, my 8th year already working in Mongolia, and I love it every year more. So it's an amazing country. Obviously, we cannot speak about Mongolia without naming Genghis Khan, which was an emperor from about 20 years. He managed to control almost an empire almost that arrived to Europe, including all China and a big part of Asia. So it's absolutely amazing. Actually, the photo that you can see down there in the lower part is a monument of the Mongolian Empire, and you will be running on stage 6 right next to that monument. So you will remember these words now. when you are there. Okay, so Mongolia. I'm going to go very quickly over Mongolia because I think Dalai, our local guide, is probably going to speak again later. So Mongolia, what is important about Mongolia is the nomad life. Okay, you have to think that the amount of people that lives in Mongolia is only 3.5 millions. And considering the surface of the country, that means that in Mongolia there is only two persons every square kilometer, which is incredible. It's probably the, if it's not the lowest populated country in the world. I think it's the second or something like that, or the first or the second. Okay, so it's really no one living around, and the thing is that most of the people is living in Ulaanbaatar or the other cities, but in the countryside there is almost no one. That is the reason that when you will get to one of the yurts, they are super welcome, super welcoming you, because there is no one around, so they are willing to have someone there and talk to a person, which is fantastic. Okay, gears. The gear is. Uh, Me, I'm an architect by profession, and for me, the girl is like an architectural prodigy because with very few material, they can build a shelter that can hold very extreme temperatures in winter and very harsh life. And it's actually very comfortable. So you will see it, and you will see it from the outside, and you will see it from the inside because we will be able to sleep in one of the girls one day. Okay. People in Mongolia, as I was saying, they are super welcoming for strangers, and they really dress like that. So it's I love that part of the Mongolians. They are super gentle, and they treat you very well when you are around them. So it's something that simple. Okay. Regarding the traditions, they keep being their life as they are used to. Okay, so you will be able to see the Mongolians hunting. You will be able to see them dress like they are because that is how they dress. I mean, they actually dress like that. Uh, they will have some shows, and we will try to have a show in the campsite. Well, you will see how they work with the horses and everything. You will maybe you will try their meat, or they eat what they eat. A big part of the food they eat is made with horse milk, and one of the favorite alcohol drinks is arak, that we might give you some in the campsite, but just a little taste. And it's made of horse milk, fermented horse milk. But with the horse milk, they do a lot of things. It's a big part of the diet. Horse milk and meat, both things. Okay. Regarding animals, I was telling you that there is only 7.5 million persons living in Mongolia, but there is 72 million animals, which is incredible. That means that they have a huge relationship with all kinds of animals. They have big animals like horses, cows, yaks, and small animals like sheep and goats. By the way, the goats, they get the cashmere, which is very known. The Mongolian cashmere is super warm and cozy for the winter. You will be able to buy anything in Kashmir in the airport, in Ulaanbaatar, everywhere, because this is super popular. Okay. Regarding the religion, the Mongolians are mainly Buddhist, but a big part of the country believes in shamanism. So you will see and you will pass by many, like, let's say, altars, and people, neighbors are like living, like for example, the head of the dead horse or the favorite of dead horse, they leave it there because it is a good sign. And we will pass by many of these points, as well as some small temples or that the race is going through. As Mary was saying, the Gobi March, the main Gobi March is going to run on the same race, the same track, the Gobi March, 250 kilometers, and the UltraLite. So the UltraLite, they will do only the last part of the courses. Karbulgin-Balgas is a palace near Harhorin. Harhorin was one of the capitals of Genghis Khan in the big empire. Okay, it's still in Mongolia. It's in the what is actually Mongolia, and it will be our finish line. But this is one of the palace of one of the governors or of Harhorin, and this is our Camp 1. Okay, this is where we will be starting. And stage 1 will be crossing by some girls. These people that they practically live there all the year. Normally, the nomads, they move quite a lot, but these guys are normally there. They stay there next to the river. That will be about close to checkpoint 1. Then checkpoint 2 will get into a mountain range. We will have to go, as you can see in the profile, we will have to climb like a small mountain and then go down on the other side, and you will have the opportunity to see the amazing Mongolian landscape from the top, and then going down the hill and all the way to, we will cross a small river in the middle. Normally it doesn't have too much water, and we will get to Camp 2. Okay, the Camp 2 will be very close to these petroglyphs. We will mark all these interesting locations. Petroglyphs, we will explain it when you are there, and we will tell you in the briefing in the morning, so you remember to try to look for the petroglyphs. I will be more precise where you can see them. It's very nice, actually. It's thousands of years old, so it's interesting. Stage 2, we will give you all this information in the course notes, so don't have to worry for writing or memorizing this, because you will have a document that will tell you. Okay. Stage 2 is 42 kilometers around that, and we will start from campsite number 2. We'll pass by a small stupa. It's like a small little temple there, Buddhist temple. And then we have to go up the mountain range and go down and follow like a track that goes next to a mountain range all the way to the south. In the lowest part, in the southern more part, we turn right, and is right there where you can see the like a small temple with a praying, how do you call them? Praying cylinders, I think. I don't know. Well, is the one you see in the picture down on the right. Okay. And then we will get to Camp 3, that is it's a gear camp. So you will have the opportunity to sleep in one of these gears and look at the structure inside. It's amazing because it's very light. It has to be light because they move with the gear, and in like 1 hour they like unmount it and then they mount it again in a different place. So it's fantastic how they do it, and it's just a little bit of wood and rope, so it's easy. Okay, this is the gear camp. This is camp number 3. Excuse me, stage number 3 is going to be a little more mountain climbing, a little bit, not a lot, not very difficult. Okay, but coming out from the campsite, you will climb a small mountain, a small hill, and then and then you will get to a temple, a very nice temple that is in a small valley. We will climb the mountain, a different mountain on the back of that valley, and then we will head to an area that is sand dunes. The most known sand dunes in Mongolia, they are in the southeast. They are in the Gobi Desert. We are not too far away. We are about 400 kilometers from the Gobi, or 450. And but this is an area that is around 3 kilometers wide and 25 kilometers long, that has sand dunes, and we will have the opportunity to run on this area as well. Okay, and then we will go to this. We'll cross the sand dunes, and we will go next to the sand dunes to the south until the campsite. That will be the campsite. See that is quite sandy. So on the right and on the left of the campsite is all sand dunes. Okay, this is one of the pictures that Mary showed you at the beginning of this Zoom. The Long March. The Long March, there is a reason why we have the Long March in stage 4, and you will understand it once you run, okay? Because the landscape on stage 5 is so beautiful that we didn't want you to see it at night. And therefore, we change it and we put this stage on stage 4, the Long March, and leave the last part for stage 5. This is almost 80 kilometers, and you will have the opportunity to run in the Mongolian steppe, which are really amazing. It's going like a slow uphills, like rolling hills, as we call it. And one very nice checkpoint that you will have is the picture that you have on the top right. That is Hashat. Is a small village that we will be crossing, because there is one checkpoint that is going to be right in the middle of the village. The rest of the stage is quite easy. So it's rolling hills is 1,000, around 1,300 meters elevation gain, and it's not like super difficult, but it's always 80 kilometers, so we have to run it. As Mary was saying, we stopped using chemical lights, and now we use reflective tape on the flags, very highly reflective tape on the flags. So you absolutely need. So a reflective tape works because you throw a light into them. So you absolutely need the front light. Okay, so don't forget to bring a very nice one. Okay, powerful one. So camp number 5 is in the Orkhon River. Orkhon River is the UNESCO heritage site, Orkhon River Valley. Okay, and we will be crossing Orkhon River. Is a very wide river that divides in like in different smallest rivers. Okay, and we will be crossing several of these rivers. Overall, in stage 5, there is most of most of the river crossings are in stage 5. Okay, suddenly you were running. Sorry. You were running in Mongolia for the beginning of the race, and then suddenly in stage 5, you feel like you are in Switzerland. The landscape is going to be changing completely. You will have super green vegetation and a lot of trees and some small mountains, not a lot. And there won't be any violet cow, but the rest it will be like Switzerland. Okay, the stage will be super nice with a lot of river crossings, about 5, and it will be around 600 meters elevation gain. The campsite will be next to this river, the last river crossing that you see on the picture on the bottom left. And campsite is right there. And then we are 9 kilometers away from from Kharkhorin, from the city that I was telling you before. Okay, and in Kharkhorin there is a temple. It's called Erdene Zu Monastery. It's a Buddhist temple, and there is where the finish line will be. Okay, it's about 9 kilometers, and we will pass on these 9 kilometers. We will climb a small hill, And in the top of the hill, there is the monument that I was telling you about, the Mongolian Empire, that you will recognize from the picture. Okay, that's it. That's it. Easy and quick. Okay. I think that, oops. Okay. Did I stop the sharing?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Carlos. That was great. And just seeing the course gets me so super excited again to be
Yeah.
among the rolling hills, the river crossings, all the yurts and gurs.
Let me see how that I stop this. I don't know how to stop this. Oh, okay.
Carlos, if you hover your mouse at the bottom of your screen, the Zoom menu should come up and you can stop sharing there.
No. Did I stop it? Sorry.
I've still got your screen.
No.
Okay, I think I've stopped it now. Okay, great.
Okay. Thank you, Mary.
Okay. Thank you so much, Carlos. That was amazing. So looking forward to seeing you in June.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, we're going to get back to the original presentation, and I just wanted to touch on the weather, the expected weather on the course. So you can see the photos. It looks very, very hot on the left, and then you can see some rain on the right. So I want you to know that it can be extremely hot. We could have some showers, but normally they're very short showers. And then after the short showers, sometimes it can get cold. So you have to plan for super hot, possible some cold. It is an extreme cold, but also some flash showers. So you can see also on the left there, we had a storm to roll through the campsite last year. You can see the clouds in the background, and it just poured for about 30 minutes and then stopped. So a lot of people like the rain because it cools things down. Okay, so June is late spring, early summer for Mongolia. So as I said, rain and thunderstorms possible. It can also be windy. Temperature can be extremely hot, but it can also be moderate and it can be slightly cold. So it is definitely the temperature can get up to 40 Celsius, more than 100 Fahrenheit, and generally drops to 5 to 10 Celsius at night. The sunshine can be very strong. And I know I get very thirsty during the day. There is something about the dry heat and the sun. Okay, the other positive thing about having the race at that time in Mongolia is the sunrise and sunset. We typically get more than 15 hours of daylight each day. So you will wake up and it'll be light, and it will stay light until around 9 p.m. each night. So really the only stage where you may be in the dark would actually be the Long March stage, stage 4. Otherwise, you will always be in light. Okay, I just wanted to go over some of the key gear items. So there are generally 35 mandatory items that people taking part in the Gobi March and the UltraLite must bring. And you can see on the left there is just a copy of the Gobi March mandatory equipment list, and on the right is for the UltraLite. So the only difference is that the ultralight only have to carry really emergency items, and otherwise we transport their gear from camp to camp. So the ultralighters also have to carry a duffel bag maximum of 60 liters. Okay, the key items on the next page, which is really for both, are the shoes, and then possibly gaiters. So I always get the question, do I need gaiters in the Gobi March? So out of all of our sort of hot desert races, you can probably get by doing the Gobi March without gaiters, but if you really want to have the best chance to finish, it's always better to have gaiters. There is definitely little rocks and dirt which will get into your shoes, and there is a sand dune section, sandy section, where of course sand could get into your shoes. We always recommend the gaiters that are actually sewn on. Those are the only gaiters that actually work well. Also, the other key item other than shoes is your backpack. There's a lot of information about backpacks on the website. There's a lot of great backpacks out there. Buy it early. Make sure you can fit everything in it. And generally, the backpack should be from about 25 liters. I would not go over 32 liters with a backpack because then you will just find ways to fill it and make it heavy. Your backpack should generally be 8 or 9 kilos. Some get the backpacks down to 5 or 6 kilos, and definitely do not pack a backpack that is more than 10 kilos. Many of the people who don't finish the race, it is because their backpack is too heavy. The other really important thing is the hydration system. And most actually prefer bottles, and they generally have the bottles on the front of the pack. The reason why that a lot don't like actually this sort of camelback type hydration system is that it's very, very hard to take off and sort of fill at each checkpoint. And then a lot of times, people will spring a leak in it. So most actually prefer water bottles, whether the soft or hard water bottles. And then the other key item is make sure that you bring plenty of electrolytes. We'll be checking those when you go through gear check before the race starts. And then make sure that you bring food that you have tested and tried and that you actually like. Really important. So the optional items, as I mentioned, the gaiters, not absolutely necessary in Mongolia, but if you want to have the best chance to finish, I would wear gaiters. Also, sleeping pad, I would highly recommend bringing a sleeping pad. The ground can be hard. There can be rocks on it. If you really want, again, the best chance to finish, bring a sleeping pad, because getting a good night's sleep in a race is extremely important. Trekking poles, I would say maybe 30 to 40% bring trekking poles. It is really a personal preference. They have such great trekking poles now that fold up. They aren't heavy, so if you think you would like to use them, or I would number one recommend using them when you train, and then bring them with you just in case that you would like to use them. The other thing is if you want to bring an eating bowl, that's also an optional item. Sometimes it's nice to have, and I'm not sure why that we even have optional items for toothbrush and toothpaste, because I would definitely bring a toothbrush and toothpaste. You can bring a very small one, cut the handle off the toothbrush just to save some weight. So it's mandatory that you bring 14,000 calories over the race, and then remember to bring one dinner for the camp when you arrive on Saturday night at the first campsite. Okay, and that's just a picture of some of the trackers, GPS trackers. We may or may not use this certain model, but generally most of the trackers are this size, and we'll tape this tracker to your backpack at check-in before the race starts, and you will wear this tracker the whole race. And this is how your family and friends can follow you, and we also monitor you during the race. And this is just a picture of someone. It's starting to get dark, so he's been told to turn on his red flashing light. So I know red flashing light is part of the mandatory gear. So generally, everything on the mandatory gear list is there for a reason. Okay, just some frequently asked questions that we get a lot on the next page here. Okay, are there river crossings? I think the answer is absolutely yes. And I see Carlos giving a thumbs up there. Are there streams or lakes near the camps? There are expected to be streams. So there are places where you can soak your water, where you can rest. So there very likely will be some river streams by our campsites. At some of them, not all. Are there animals, insects on the course? Lots of animals. You'll see a lot of wild horses roaming. You'll see cattle. You'll see people riding the horses. But in terms of any dangerous animals, sometimes you will hear wolves at night, but otherwise there's not. Oh, maybe some sheep out there, but generally not much else. Of course, dogs. There's the odd dogs, but the dogs are pretty nice out there actually. And insects on the course, yes, there are some campsites that have more than others. I would probably recommend maybe bringing some bug spray. Okay, again, how hot will it be? I said it could be very hot, over 40 Celsius, 100 Fahrenheit. Should I bring gaiters? Um, yes, it's better, but absolutely not necessary. Do I get hot water on the course? Generally not. The only stage where you'll get hot water is stage 4, the Long March, and we'll have hot water halfway through that stage. Generally, hot water is only available at camp in morning and at night. How do the cutoff times work on the Long March? Generally, the cutoff times work the same on the Long March as they do on other days, except there is one checkpoint where you will be given additional time to possibly sleep and rest. How much should my pack weigh? As I said, 8 or 9 kilos is sort of the average. Some get it down to as low as 5 or 6 kilos, but that's very hard. Do not go over 10 kilos. Can I use water for washing? The only water you can use for washing would be the river water, not the water that we have that you will be drinking. Is there mobile phone reception? It is very spotty along the course. I should mention that although we recommend that you carry a mobile phone, it should be only used in an emergency unless you would like to take photos or videos. The Gobi March, the UltraLite, they were set up to take you away from the connected world. So we don't want you to spend, all of your time on your phone. And indeed, there are penalties for if you're caught using a mobile phone just to chat with someone or to send emails. Do I carry all my own rubbish, trash? You only have to carry it to the next checkpoint or camp. You don't have to carry it and then take it out at the end of the race. We have a lot of trash bins set up for you. Okay, sunrise and sunset. Generally, sunrise is somewhere around 5 a.m. in the morning, and sunset is around 9 p.m. each day. Okay, what is the withdrawal rate? Generally, it is between sort of 8 to 10% at the Gobi March, based on how hot it is. The hotter race that we have, the higher the withdrawal rate is. And the main reason why people don't finish, it's either blisters or it's possibly a stomach. They've got a stomach problem. Sometimes they don't get enough sleep. But blisters play a huge role in whether or not someone will finish the race. And now many do finish with terrible blisters. So even if you get a blister, for the most part, it doesn't mean that you can't finish the race with that blister. It's just more painful. And what happens if someone withdraws? Well, you have the opportunity. You can stay with camp, and we'll take you from camp to camp. You can also join our volunteer team, or you can go back to the hotel. But any transportation cost back to the hotel is at your cost. We will have set fees, so we can actually give that to you before the race starts. Can my family or friend be part of the race? Absolutely, yes. As part of the Friends or Family program, we don't have any volunteer places available, but they could definitely join as part of the Friends and Family program. Okay, and then just a bit of information about how we support the beautiful people of Mongolia. So ever since the start, we've been donating high-powered lithium batteries to the nomadic families along the course. And that battery is really a life changer for them. It can power a water pump, a small fridge. It helps to charge their phone. When you show up at a yurt with a battery, you get so many smiles. It is the most amazing thing. And we're very, very happy to have been able to have provided all these batteries. The other thing that we do is every single water bottle that we use during the race is actually donated to the herdsman. You can see in the top photo that he's carrying it back, and they use it to sell milk, tea, and other products. So we try not to damage a single water bottle, so that those can be reused. The other thing that we would ask of you is to bring coloring books, pens, pencils, notebooks. We give them out along the course to the kids. The kids absolutely love them. If you can bring, things like lollipops, also the kids absolutely will give you a huge smile for that. But we would ask everyone to please bring something, and we will carry them. And you will also have the opportunity to visit a gur, a yurt, and to bring a battery to one of the families along the course. The other thing that we are happy to do, we've been able to support the Hashat School, which you'll find that will actually be the overnight point on the Long March. And we will give some of the pens, pencil, coloring books to that school. And we've also supported a project to renovate the kids' showers and bathrooms there. It's a boarding school, so it isn't the boarding school in the sense that we think of in the UK, US, where you go to a really expensive school to board. This is where all of the children come from the rural countryside to stay in the school because it's not possible to go home each night. Also, we support the Erdensee Monastery. You'll see the beautiful monastery at the finish. So they give us some different projects to help with each year. So there's so many things that we're able to do. We try to do as much as possible every year, and we also want you to be a part of that. And then lastly, many of the racers raise money for charities. So we really encourage that, and let us know what you're doing so we can get the message out on social media, make sure that it's listed on your website bio. But we're very, very happy that so many of the runners choose to raise money for charities. So that's a little sample of what we'll be doing. Okay, now I hope our local manager, Dalai, and his lovely wife, Uri, are on the call. Dalai?
Yeah. Hello,
Okay,
everyone.
so this is the real thing. This is
Hello.
Dalai and Murray, and they are literally managing everything for us locally. And that's Dalai in the photo there. Dalai has worked with us every year, and they're just gonna they're just gonna tell you a little bit about themselves and also about how they can help you with a transfer or any hotel rooms or different tours. Okay, Dalai, Ure.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is Talai, and I'm also I'm the local manager from the first race in Mongolia. So always happy to meet everyone in every year. And to everyone who is visiting Mongolia, always happy to help. And Ure, she is from
Yeah, my name is
Turkey.
Uri. We are the event tour team, so we are really excited to welcome you all in Mongolia, our beautiful country. And we are here to support for all the airport transfer, hotel accommodation bookings, and the tours to around Mongolia. So if you need any inquiries, just contact us.
Yeah, especially Ure will help all the travel services. And I will be there in during race. I will be the local manager at the campsite with my local team, who is always happy to help all the local logistics. So yeah, can't wait to see everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dalai. All right. Thank you for joining too. For those of you who don't know, the call started at 3 a.m. for them. So very, very early.
No problem at all.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
So excited. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and then final checklist. Okay, make sure that you're finalizing your travel. Look at your equipment list of 35 mandatory items. If there's some easy items, get those. Get it all purchased. We'll be sending patches out for your tops in March 2026. So you'll all get 8 Race of the Planet patches. And then you should get your own nationality patches. I've sent you the information on filling out the mandatory forms. There are 5. It's to the extent possible, get those done as soon as possible. Keep up your training plan. Try to stay injury free. Keep watching, reading the recommended info. It isn't too late to get a personal trainer. If you would like, we have many listed on the website. We also have personal training plans. If you'd like a personal training plan, we have 3 for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Email us and we can get one to you. And make sure that you get to Ulaanbaatar by the 19th. Okay, and just to mention some extras, people have asked about photos and videos, and these are completely optional. If you do want a single room, there's a single room supplement. If you do want to send emails out every day, there is a $50 cyber tent package. You can buy personalized photos, again, completely optional, 250, a video package. We have 10 where actually, Andre will do an amazing personalized video for 500. The friends and family experience, banquet tickets. If you have friends that just want to meet you at the hotel at the end, they can purchase a banquet ticket. And then if you would like to spend some time before or after visiting areas of Mongolia, again, you can contact Dalai and Uri at Event Tour, or if there's some other agency that you would like to use. But I highly recommend Dalai and Uri. Okay, and then I guess just a couple of final points. With regard to training, make sure that you get your pack, your shoes, and you train with them. Make sure you train both walking and running. And then we've actually got a special feature, which you'll see on the next slide, that we also have one of the personal trainers who's finished the Gobi March, Christina Huffman, is actually doing a 5-part series on training. Well, she'll go over how to train and also gear that you need for the Gobi. She's had her first part, which is on Zoom, and she'll be giving another training call on February 7th, and you can still register there. And then again, I mentioned the training plans we're happy to send you. I also highly recommend watching the YouTube channel, going through the website, reading everything that you can. We have a special Facebook page, community page, where you can ask questions. A lot of people are very helpful in answering questions. I noticed there was recently a shoe survey on there. You can see the types of shoes people are bringing. Follow the social media. Because we try to keep everyone updated also through the social media. And then reach out to others who've actually finished one of the races, preferably the Gobi March, but all of the races are relevant. Ask them for help, for any type of questions that you have, and then email us for any questions that you have. We're happy to answer the question or else point you in the right direction. So that is pretty much it. Now I will just open the forum if there's any questions. If anyone has any questions to ask, um, just uh, just unmute and ask the question.
Hello.
Hello, Esther.
I would like to know, I didn't hear about the gaiters, if the most of the people are wearing gaiters or not.
So I would say that in the Gobi, probably less than half wear gaiters. It's the one
Less
race
than.
where gaiters are not absolutely necessary, but there is a section of sand and also just the dirt and rocks can get into your shoes. So not absolutely necessary, but better to have gaiters.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Menos a la mitad.
So, Esther, the point is that wearing the gaiter, it increases the temperature in your feet. Okay, so in Gobi there is a little bit of sand, but not a lot. So it's something that you have to consider. Maybe you can carry them because they don't weigh too much, and you can use them only on the stage of the sand. That's an
Oh, yes,
idea.
this is a
Yeah,
good idea also. Thank you.
sure.
Sí, no es mala idea.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, great. Well, Carlos, thank you. Sam, thank you so much. Dalai, Uri, thank you so much for being on the call. And thank you everyone else for joining. I look forward to seeing many of you at the Gobi March in June. I'm super excited about it. So we'll be sending out to everyone a link to the recording if you'd like to rewatch it. And if you'd like a copy of the presentation, we're also happy to send that to you. So thank you so much for joining. And I hope you've all had a good weekend and ready for Monday. Okay,
Thank you
take
very much
care.
for
Thank you.
everything.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye bye.
Bye.